Golden Tee Arcade Classics. When I was younger, I used to go to a few arcade establishments, and they had one of these. It had the gimmick of using a trackball as a controller instead of just pushing buttons. And kids, a trackball is like a mouse, you don't move. They're mostly used in computer setups where you don't have a lot of space to use a mouse, and you rotate a ball without having to move the mouse around, and it moves a cursor on the screen. Mostly everything is done by using one rotating ball. Instead of adding in bar controls that you would normally see in golf games, where it moves upward to set the power, they replicated the trackball and you hold it and you push and rotate it on the screen. And it works great most of the time. There is one game on here where it's totally broken and useless, but most of the time it works great. They even replicate the sound of it rolling, which I thought was cool. You can change up the way the ball looks in the options menu if you want, and each player can set up their own ball. And I thought that was a fun option. You could also play using the touchscreen, but you have to enable it in the options, and it worked fine. And you kind of thrust on the screen like you would a trackball. Now, if you don't like trackball controls, they did have an easier version of it. You just point where you want the power to go, and you just stretch out an arrow to show you how much power you want to put into it. Honestly, why do you want to play Golden Tee if you don't want to use the trackball? It's the only real appeal of this title. Now, graphically, it looks definitely like a 90s game. The golfers' animations were okay. However, the courses themselves, I don't think look good at all. They didn't do any improvements to make it more appealing for the times. These are just arcade ports, which you don't actually have to pretend to put quarters into, which I liked. So often when you get these releases, they always make you put in a fake quarter to play it. But this is just set to free play, which by the way is what I have my arcades at my house set to. Funny enough, my Double Dragon machine actually requires me to put in a quarter, even in free play to start it. But I always have the quarter acceptor open, so you can just grab one. Now there are 8 games in here. 6 of them are ports of the arcade games Golden Tee, which at one point came out every year in the 90s. As you play them, you're going to see the small improvements they make over the years, whether it be increased voiceovers, adding in points for good shots, or even something as small as showing your scorecard at the end of each hole. Now the golf games go by quickly. You can finish an entire 18-hole course in about 15 to 20 minutes. All of the courses pretty much have the same assets. There were changes to the colors and environments, but the overall feel was always the same. It is the biggest downside, I would say. Sure, they look a little bit different, but they all pretty much play the same. Each game had 3 courses in it, and technically there's 24 courses in this, but one of the games I think was a best of, so maybe there's 21 courses. As I'm playing these courses, I found them challenging, but I was constantly saying, okay, that's a tricky green to get to. But in reality, how would anybody ever access it? It's in the middle of crocodile-infested waters with no bridges to drive to it. Are we supposed to take one of these airboats to get there? That seems crazy. Then there are the courses which have cliffs right next to it, and it would be an insurance nightmare. I'm not saying that golf courses don't exist that don't have cliffs to tee off, but there are always safety measures, as well as clear ways to get down. These just had random cliffs, which would just be in your way, and it was insane. The announcers would make comments occasionally, and some of them made me laugh.
Get the chainsaw. He's on the dance floor. Get the snorkel.
I've never heard announcers talk like that before. Maybe it's common, I don't know. I don't watch that much golf. Depending on the way you rotate the ball on the screen, it might hook the ball or set it in a straight line. There are quite a few ways you could use a trackball to change up the way the ball would be hit. And since it wasn't just pushing buttons, you wouldn't get it consistent every time, which made it more exciting. Now, putting was the hardest thing in this game, because it's very easy to slightly putt in the wrong direction, because of the way the trackball moves. I was getting better and better at driving the ball down the fairway, but when it came to the short game, it never felt like I had full control over it. And it came down to luck more than skill. There were 2 different ways to play golf. The normal way where you keeping score, and another one where you get money called skins. Each hole is worth a certain amount of money, and it increases until the 18th hole. If players tie, it pulls that money until the next hole, and the winner of that wins a big pot of money. So what do you do with this imaginary money? Nothing. It's just another way to measure who the winner of the game is. There were 2 other games in this collection, which were Shuffle Shot and World Class Bowling. Bowling was a lot of fun and extremely quick. Games would last no longer than 5 to 8 minutes, depending on how many people were playing. You could play any of these games with up to 3 other people, and it was always quick to change to other characters. Now, the physics in the bowling game were not even slightly correct, and if you're looking for a true bowling simulator, this isn't going to be for you. But if you're looking for a quick game at a party, this would be fun. Now, what wasn't fun was Shuffle Shot. This was just 4 variations of Shuffleboard, and they were quick to play, but they controlled terribly. The trackball, which worked great in every other game, is just broken in this. It would hold on to your inputs and just not throw the ball or send it in different directions. I think the only way this works is with that aim assist mode, where you control the speed with an arrow. But even then, it's just not fun to play. Golden Tee Arcade Classics will be appealing for the people who play the arcade machines. Visually, it showed its age. I love the small things that the announcers would say. It was just a fun little addition. The trackball controls mostly work great, with the exception of that one game in this collection. Now this is normally $29.99, and I would say wait for it to go on sale. If you're a fan of these games, you're going to enjoy your time with this, but you'll start to notice fairly quickly that every course feels really similar. So if you want to re-experience these games, I will wait to pick this up when it's on sale.